All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little Golden State Warrior Boston Celtic recap brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. This video is also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. Well, the Celtics came in tonight to play the shorthanded Warriors, and man, you would have thought Boston would have wiped the floor with Golden State. Instead, it was the Warriors who came back in the second half, forced the overtime, and win it 133 to 126. An amazing night, really, for Steph Curry, who had the game winner. Steph Curry is just such a clutch shooter. Chris Paul found him for the last second three, and he just got rid of it in just a blink of an eye. The release was amazing. The arc was amazing. It was nothing but net, and the Warriors get the win. So Boston was rolled in 20-7. Golden State was, and by the way, Boston, when you look at them at 20-7, they were 14-0 at home. Not nearly as good on the road. Whatever it was, 6-6 or whatever they were on the road, but 14-0 at home. And they'd struggled. They'd lost like 3 in a row on the road, and now tonight they've lost their 4th in a row on the road. Celtics led 65-62 at halftime. Boston led by 12 points in the first half at the break. Jason Tatum went down in the first half. He went back to the locker room with what looked to be a pretty ugly ankle sprain, but he did come back in the game and returned and played. Boston shot 45.6% in that first half. Golden State shot 46.8%. The big difference was Golden State shot 44% from three, while Boston only shot 30% from three. And the Warriors won on the glass 29-24 in the first half. And the edge came on the defensive glass, where they out-rebounded Boston by 5 in the first half on the defensive glass. Golden State, though, turned it over. They had 8 turnovers. Boston only had 3 in that first half. Boston was plus 12 points in the paint at the break. Jaylen Brown had 15. Derek White had 12. The Warriors were led in the first half by Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Klay had 13. Steph had 10. Saric had 11. Jonathan Kuminga had 13 points and 5 rebounds in that first half. So Kuminga played really, really well. Golden State, started Steph, Klay, Podziemski, Kuminga, and Looney. And Podziemski at one point also looked like he got hit pretty hard on a box out and kind of crumbled to the ground. And he looked like he was hurt there for a bit. But ultimately, Podziemski got hurt in the first half a little bit, and he went out. But Golden State, 28th in the NBA in block shots. And yet Trace Jackson-Davis came off the bench and really looked good in this game and helped them in that category. Boston played without Kristaps Porzingis. That made a difference. Draymond Green, of course, began his counseling. He'll be out for the next at least 3 weeks trying to get help. CP3 did play and Wiggins did play. There was some question as to whether or not those guys were going to go, and they both went. Keita had a nice little game for Boston. First half, he had 6 points and 5 rebounds. It's funny. You look at this game, Warriors trailed 87-70 in the third quarter. And they came back. They tied the game 121-121 with 29.6 seconds left. And then Tatum missed a three-pointer at the end of the fourth quarter that would have potentially won it. And then Golden State wins it in the overtime. Golden State won the fourth quarter 35-24 to force the overtime. And then Golden State won the overtime 11-5 to get the win. And if you watch Boston in overtime, they just couldn't make a shot. I mean, they just were absolutely. Jaylen Brown missed a jumper. Tatum missed a 3. Horford missed a 3. They just couldn't make a shot. And Kuminga had a couple really nice plays in overtime. Trace Jackson Davis, Clay found Trace Jackson Davis for a dunk to put Golden State up 125-121. Trace Jackson Davis had a wonderful block on Brown on a dunk attempt by Brown in overtime. That was really something to watch. And then, it was just basically just Boston couldn't make a shot in the overtime. I mean, that was really the story. Tatum missed a lay-in. Horford missed a tip-in. Steph then hit a big three to make it 127-124 with 38 seconds left. Boston then hit another three, and then Steph hit what he calls the night-night three with 10.6 on the clock. CP3 looked up at the clock, saw Steph on the perimeter, winged it out to Steph, and he just had no time at all other than just catch and release. And he did, and it was nothing but net. That made it 130-126 Warriors with 10.6 left. Boston would miss a three-pointer. Again, TJD would get the rebound. So it was a big night and then Steph was fouled at the end and finished it at the line, and the Warriors win 132-126. They get a nice 6-point win over Boston. But a couple things. First of all, Trace Jackson Davis needs to play. He had 10 points. He had 13 rebounds. He's got one double-double on the year. Guess who else has one double-double on the year? Kevon Looney. So play Trace Jackson Davis. I mean, you really need to play him. He's exactly what this team needs. He played 4 years of college at Indiana. He knows how to play. He knows how to position his body. He's the son of Dale Davis, so he's a great athlete. He's a shot blocker. He knows how to play the game. He's a second-generation NBA player, and he knows how to play. And he's just got so much more energy than Kevon Looney. It's not even close. So 10 points and 13 rebounds for Trace Jackson Davis. Chris Paul played well. He had 9 points and 12 assists. He looked really, really good. Steph lit it up at the end. I mean, Steph had wound up with 33 and 6, 20 in the fourth quarter, and overtime combined. Clay had a nice night with 24. Jonathan Kuminga, I thought, played a really good game. He had 17 points and 7 rebounds. Most of the offensive damage that Kuminga did was in the first half, but he played great defense. And, Boston is a really good basketball team for sure, but they just didn't have it tonight against Golden State. Golden State, Boston led this entire game. Golden State led early, and then that's it. They got the lead very late. There were several 49ers in the house. They showed the Niner players all sitting in a suite there at Chase. But Golden State gets the win, a very surprising win, 135-126, or 132-126. 6-point win for Golden State. And overall, it was the magic of Steph Curry. It was a good night from Klay Thompson. It was really a fantastic first half offensively and a terrific all-around game defensively from Jonathan Kuminga. CP3 gutted it out. I mean, when you look at 12 assists, and I think he have one turnover all night, and then Trace Jackson Davis, a double-double. If Trace Jackson Davis can continue to play that well, and Kuminga can play that well, Steph hits big shots, and Klay Thompson, looks a lot more like Klay Thompson, Golden State can win games. Boston had the best record of any team in the East, and Golden State takes them down 132-126. So good win for the Warriors for sure. And Steph said afterwards he really felt like that was like one of their best games of the year. They got tested, they answered the test, and they excited the holiday crowd. I mean, it's not a holiday right now, but we're in the holiday season, and obviously this was a big game for the Warriors, and they beat the Celtics. So good win, really good win. One of the best wins of the year for Golden State. And to do it without Draymond Green was all that more impressive. So thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.